a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. The happy hour here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. It is I, Rico Heller, joined by Jake Bakoven. Hi, Bach.
Can I do that? I steal
You
your
can.
hello?
You can. Go ahead. Hey, hey, Bach.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Oh, not too bad.
We're here for another hour of sports fun on 93.7 The Ticket. You guys can join in 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, or on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter on our Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream. We would love to have you. We're switching spots, not switching seats, but just hanging out with each other for another hour before On the Block gets going. As we said earlier, Nicholas Sainert taking a couple of days off. He called a bunch of games these last 2 weeks for the girls and boys state high school tournament. Shout out to Bellevue West for winning the boys title, and Doug Woodard for going out on top, retiring after I don't even know how many seasons at the helm of the Bellevue West Thunderbirds. But going out on top as he should. One of the best coaches in Nebraska boys basketball history. And my alma mater got it done.
Yeah. Did you was he like a teacher? Did they make the coaches do like strength and conditioning?
He was
Or what do they call it?
no, he was in a was it not like an advisor or something? He was one of the
a different role.
like an administrator. I don't know exactly what the word is. We had like 4 of them. Yeah, like 4 counselors. He was one of them. I had John Feynman, may he rest in peace, my football coach was my advisor. So anytime I got in trouble, I had to go down to him, and he'd just be like, "Alvarez, what are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "I'm gonna hold you." He's like, "Just stay down here for like 5 minutes and then go back into class." I'm like, "Okay." Yeah, coach.
He didn't really.
Well, he was just like, "Why are you here?" I wasn't a troublemaker, but I talked a lot in class. So he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I was talking." He's like, "Why?" Just stop. So I didn't get like detention. I wasn't like fighting people. I just talked a lot.
Just talking over the teachers.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they were boring.
Yeah,
it's just a thing that happens. But we're talking NFL free agency. Got a little bit of track and field news from the Husker men's and women's teams. We'll get into that right now, actually. So I'm just going to shout them out as they post top 15 finishes. Both teams do. The men placing 8th, their best indoor finish since 2009, and the women finishing 14th, their best finish since 2006.
Wow.
They have 8 first-team All-Americans, 2 second-team All-Americans in the 2023 NCAA Indoor Championships down in Albuquerque. Shout out to New Mexico for hosting it, and that was a beautiful track.
The Lobos.
It was a beautiful track. It was like a baby blue in the lanes. It was fantastic. But some of the placers, some of the first-team All-Americans, Axelina Johansson, who you have heard on these airwaves with DP on, I believe it was one-on-one at the time, I believe last year. She's still doing her thing. She finished 2nd in the shot put, which is the highest a Husker woman has finished in the indoor realm since 2011. She threw the shot put. Do you want to just throw a number out there? How far do you think she threw it?
I would sound like an idiot. I'm not sure what's good and what's not.
62 feet, 8 3/4 inches.
I think I didn't
Getting second place, the first team All-American men's shot put. Jonah Wilson, Maxwell Otterdahl. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right, and I feel bad.
Otterdahl?
Yeah.
I like how you're saying it. So
Otterdahl. Well, it's spelled Otter and then Dahl.
Yeah, it sounds
so
like
Otterdahl.
Yeah, Otterdahl.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
Jonah Wilson, Maxwell Otterdahl. They both got personal best and both got first team All-American. Jonah finished 2nd place, the highest, the best indoor finish by a man since 2018, and he threw it 68 feet, 7 1/4 inches, while Max Otterdahl finished, he had the 3rd best mark in school history with a 67 feet, 8-inch toss to place 4th. Yeah.
I got a
launching
track and field field question here. Is it similar to like basketball? You have a different sized men's and females basketball. Is it the same?
It's heavier.
It's the same
heavier for the
okay,
men.
well, yeah.
It's heavier for the men.
I'm pretty surprised that she was able to throw just as far as they were.
Well, she's jacked.
Yeah.
So she could do that. But
Yeah.
she's, I think she threw in the world championships this last summer, and they held that in Oregon. And I think going into finals, she was top 3. I don't remember where she finished, but she's, one of the best in the world.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So she's pretty good.
That's why that number is
Well, yeah,
pretty
yeah.
high.
She's pretty good at what she does. That is the first time NU has placed 2 athletes in the top 5 in the same event since 96 indoor, when Frank Mensa and Willie Hibbler finished 4th and 5th in the 55-meter hurdles.
What year?
1996.
Mm,
Making moves.
that's a long time.
Track and field. Darius Luff, the local kid from Lincoln High, he was running the 60-meter hurdles and ran a 760 the day after he broke the school record and ran a 754. He had the fastest time going into the finals. Ran a little bit slower, ended up getting 3rd, first team All-American. Till Steinforth in the heptathlon, we were talking about that. He was 3rd after day 1. Still got first team All-American. He ended with 6,196 points to finish 4th, but he now ranked in the top 5 all-time in collegiate men's indoor heptathlon.
Wow.
So a top 5 finish all-time got him 4th.
So everybody else also top 5 finished.
Yes.
The
They
athletes
so they
get
went
bigger
so
and stronger.
so he finished, I think he finished 5th, and then the 3 above him finished. No, I think either 5th or 4th, because the guy who won it finished 6 points behind breaking the record. So he was one couple seconds or whatever, a couple meters, a couple inches off of getting those 6 points and breaking the all-time indoor heptathlon record. So that's what it took to win the heptathlon this year. There's something
about Albuquerque.
Dude, there were so many records falling.
Huh.
I know the women's 60-meter hurdles. The same woman who'd been breaking her own record meet after meet after meet. She's from Texas. I cannot remember her name for the life of me, and I feel bad. She broke her own record again to win the whole thing. So and she went under 7 seconds in the 60, which is crazy for women. So she was zooming.
Now, did that event last 2 days? Is that or how long is it?
3 days. 3 days.
Sunday?
Yeah,
Okay.
3 days. Because you start the first day with just the first day of multis. I think it was 3 days. That's usually what happens. The first day is just multis. Second day is some more multis and some field and some track and field events. And then the last day is finals for everything. I believe it was 3 days. It could have just been 2. I don't remember exactly. But then, so finishing off with Nebraska and their placers, Jenna Rogers closed her indoor season with first team All-American honors in the women's high jump. She got 4th place. She cleared 6 feet 2 inches.
My goodness.
Flying. She could have jumped over Keisei Tominaga.
That's right.
On the men's side, Mason Connor was a first team All-American in the high jump, clearing 7 feet 1 inch and 3/4 to tie for 7th.
No.
7 foot 1 and 3/4 got him 7th.
My goodness.
Tied for so he gets first team All-American honors there.
Was that jumping over Oleg, or Oleg's a little taller?
I think Oleg is 7'1", so that's a little bit over Oleg. He like Oleg. He'd skin his hair. That's what he would do.
duck.
Yeah, just a smidge. But that's the indoor track and field team took care of business. Again, 2 top 15 finishes for the men and the women. A whole bunch of first team All-Americans. Then they get right into the outdoor season. They head down to Austin, Texas, March 30th through April 1st to start their season.
That's interesting too. I know in like the now I'm forgetting what it was called, but like the athletic department race. I know that was kind of when Trev Alberts got in. That was kind of the big deal. Is like we're all going to be moving as a unit up. We're going to be expecting every sport to be competing, and obviously that's a huge step up for track and field. I also know that like this year in that like athletic department ranking, Nebraska was not doing well. So I'm sure that this will be a nice little jump in that. So we'll have to see kind of how that plays out. I don't expect Nebraska to ultimately do great in that. I think when that story comes out, it's not going to be overwhelming, but it is something to pay attention to. And as we go through that, I'm sure that day we'll say, well, track and field did their job.
Mm-hmm. They did a fine job. And somebody was asking what the winning marks for some of these are. So let me find these for that person. Arkansas won both the men's and the women's side, so they're still doing their thing. Come on. I want to find not the event winners. I want to find their marks. Why is this so hard to find? They always make this so impossible to find. Okay, so what were we at? We're at the men's high jump. So let's find out what the winning height was. So the winning height was 7 feet 4.25 inches from Romaine Beckford of South Florida. That is jumping over Purdue's center.
Zach Edey?
Zach Edey. That is jumping over Zach Edey, clearing him by 1 inch. If let's put that into perspective.
Yeah.
Men's triple jump. So this was, okay, Jaden Hibbert, a freshman at Arkansas, his first jump of the day. This is what he did. 57 feet, 6.5 inches. Second place was 55 feet.
Jeez. Freshman. So he's
a freshman. So
that's
that's more than likely probably a four-time national champion. And we'll see what he does outdoor. Okay, so in the men's shot put, Nebraska had 2 top 5 finishers: Jonah Wilson second, Maxwell Otterdahl fourth. The Jonah finished second at 68 7.25 inches. 68 feet 7.25 inches. Jordan Geist of Arizona, a senior, won it with a 69-foot 4.75-inch toss.
Not too far off there.
So he was right there. He's off by about a foot, a little bit less. Let's go with the 60-meter hurdles because, as I said, Darius Luff finished third, had the best time going in at 7:53, and the winner, if he would have ran the same time, he would have won it because the winner was from Clemson, who ran a 7:55. Let's go over hurdles, 60 meters, and the men's. So, okay, we're gonna do this. So the men's 60-meter, as we said earlier, or as I said earlier, Tyreek Hill ran a 6:70, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't, people were freaking out how fast he was.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
Against who are those people?
They were nobodies. That's who they were.
Nobody.
They were nobodies. Tyreek Hill would not have been in the final for the men's indoor championship of NCAA.
Wow.
The winner ran a 6:46. Terrence Jones, a sophomore from Texas Tech. 7th place, because 8th place didn't start. I think he was hurt. Favor Ash of Auburn. Lawrence Johnson of Wisconsin ran a 6:59.
So what did Tyreek?
And that was last place.
What did Tyreek?
6'7".
Yeah. That's not.
I mean, it's right there, but 100th of a second is a
big deal.
Decent distance.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was impressive. It was impressive, but that's what happened there. What was the last one I was going to look at? The women's high jump. That's what I was going to look at. And the women's shot put. So the women's high jump, Jenna Rogers got 4th at 6'2". The winner was Lamara Diston of Texas A&M, who went 6'3.25". And then finally, we'll see where Axelina was just missed out on winning the shot put, as she lost to Ohio State senior Adelaide Aquia, who threw it 3.25 inches. So not even a foot further than Axelina. Just missed it.
And for the final standings, you said Nebraska was 8th?
The men were 8th, the women were 14th.
Were they, I mean, kind of the similar question. Was the gap pretty big among the champions?
Yeah. Arkansas ran away with it on the men's side. They finished with 63 points. Georgia was second with 40.
Okay, yeah.
On the women's side, a lot closer. Arkansas 64, Texas 60.
Arkansas is a place to go, though, huh?
Oh, yeah. Arkansas is Tracktown USA. I mean, Oregon's Tracktown USA. But in terms of if you want to win a national championship, Arkansas, Florida are probably two of the places where you're going to have the best chance to win the national title as a team.
That's interesting. I didn't know Little Rock had that type of speed.
Oh, yeah. Always has. And their track is gorgeous also, by the way. I do want to make sure that I get this. She didn't make the finals, but she was there. Come on, where is it at? Women's 200-meter prelims. Where is it at? DeJazz DeFrand, the former Lincoln High standout, now goes to Florida State, finished 11th. She didn't make it to finals, unfortunately, but finished 11th in the 200, running 22.89.
That's pretty cool for a Lincoln native.
Just missing out on making the finals by 3 spots. 8th place went $22.74. So, and this is a true freshman. So expect to hear DeJazz DeFran's name in the coming years. Mostly because she's really fast.
Yeah. Too bad she's not with the Huskers.
Unfortunately, but hey,
It happens.
things happen. She's doing the dang thing down at Florida State.
Yeah.
But that's gonna do it for this first segment. I just wanted to go on a nice little track binge just to get everybody up to speed on what happened with track and field because I love it so much and I want to talk about it.
We're gonna get watching it on Friday.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some NFL free agency and maybe some more bracket talk.
Former Husker in the move. We can
former Husker on the move in the portal and not former Husker. Sorry, I messed up. Former Husker on the move, NFL free agency. So we'll be right back on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
March is a month of good luck, from epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot, 48th and Layton, and find your next ride, as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts at Mullen Motors.
No talent, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
It's full of high school state battle action, the NCAA tournament, baseball season starting up, all great things that also cause a lot of stress. Instead of letting your nerves get the best of you and cause uncomfortable tightness, get ahead of all of it with a massage from The Body Shop. The Body Shop in Lincoln is your place for all types of massages: deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Book your appointment today at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's opening in Bennett.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection, bivalent COVID vaccine, while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's healthylincoln.org.
For sure, Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, ushering the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Meeting your goal of having a healthy diet has never been easier than with the Venue at Home Healthy Living subscription. Chef-inspired meals that are health conscious and delivered right to your door every week. All you have to do is heat and eat. We offer delicious entrees, gluten-free pastas, fresh rice bowls, soups, salads, and more. Build your own package as a subscription to receive meals every week, designed to help you meet your dietary goals. Order your custom healthy meal package today at venueathome.net.
Working at Continental in Lincoln is a job. It's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and benefits. Plus, medical and prescription low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC is great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact See Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329. Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Mostly sunny skies, but still rather chilly for our Monday. See an afternoon high of 37, a light north wind around 10. Mainly clear tonight, the low dropping down to around 20. A nice warm up tomorrow with a high of 54, but a bit breezy. The south winds just over 20. Meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Singleton and Enrique Alvarez Clary. Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting. On 9 The Ticket the top.
I really like this one. Too bad we have to get rid of it.
Oh, you have to get rid of this one?
Yeah, unfortunately.
You have to get rid of all the happy hour.
Not all of them. I think there's like 2 or 3 that we can stick with. But yeah, it's a thing. Whatever. Shout out to Don, who is reminding me of the New Balance Nationals meet, which is high schoolers who are in New York. And first off, New Balance Nationals is fantastic. I wish I could have gone at some point, but it's never that good.
Do you have to wear like those white balance?
No.
That'd be fun.
you wear whatever you want to wear. There was a 16-year-old woman who ran the 200 in 22.33 seconds. Just shattered the under 20 record. And if you compare her time to nationals for the collegiate runners, she would have gotten 3rd in the finals in Albuquerque.
Wow.
At the D1 finals as a 16-year-old. So that's pretty impressive. There were also 3 high schoolers in the 60 who the same day, and I'm not taking shots at Tyreek, but I kind of am. Whatever. I don't care. 3 high schoolers who ran faster than 6'7", and that meet the exact same day.
I got kind of a weird question too. Again, revolving around track. Is there any possible way that it's like gymnastics where it might be helpful to be a little bit younger, or like is there like a concern of weight gain? I guess at that point, by the time a growth spurt or something. When she's
I mean, maybe everybody grows differently,
Yeah.
but if you train correctly, as long as you have that speed when you're younger, it's not going to just magically disappear. Well, sometimes it just disappears, but for the most part, you keep training a correct way, the right way, and you'll be able to build upon it.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, I wonder, like, if you told me what's she going to run in 4 years,
couldn't tell you.
It's hard to tell.
No, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
She could get better. She could get worse. But that happens with everybody. There's some people who, right now,
Not
there's
everybody
some
peaks at the same
yeah,
time.
there's some boys right now who probably peaked. There's some of those boys at that meet. That's as fast as they're ever going to go, and they're never going to get any faster. It's a great time, and you're moving quickly, but if that's as fast as you're going to get, once you get older, you get into the professional ranks. If you're not getting any faster with ran as a high schooler, unless you're ungodly fast, it's not really going to amount to anything. So, people peak at different times. People, if you do different sports, it'll help you so you don't peak as a high schooler. Normally, but if you're focused on track and field or just the one sport all year round, sometimes it'll get to you, and your body was just like, okay, this is it. This is as good as we're going to get.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in a couple of years, but smashes the under 20 record, and we'll see where she's at in a couple of years.
Either way, you got that.
What college? If she decides to go to college, if she decides to go professional straight out of high school, which a couple people have done, it'll be interesting to see where her career takes her. But over to Qdoba guy says, you do realize Tyreek is almost 30 years old, right? Can't compare that to 18-year-olds. I don't. Why?
Well, you're talking about NFL top end speed. I think that's interesting compared to.
Why can't I? He's in fantastic shape for a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
There are professional sprinters who are 30 who are running faster than this isn't taking. Look, he did great. He doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. My beef isn't with him. It's with the people who say, "Oh my gosh, look at how fast he is," and it's like, yeah, he is fast. He is the fastest NFL player right now. That is not a question. But in terms of sprinting, like at a professional track and field level, you put him in a professional meet, and I don't know. He's not going to win it.
Doesn't stand out.
He's not going to win it. He'll be one of the faster people, and he will look good doing it. He's in great form, but he ain't gonna win it.
He still throw up the peace sign if he's eighth?
No, that will not happen.
Just keep on.
That did not happen. John in Cortland says, "When did Usain Bolt retire 100+ pounds?" I don't know what that means. When, did he retire and he's 200+ pounds? I don't know what that means. 800 meters at Worlds, 18 sub 144. Yeah, kids are fast, man. Records are falling left and right. But we're going to get into NFL free agency because, as Bach said before we hit the break, former Huskers on the move. Bach?
Yeah, former Giants offensive lineman. Sorry, Giants fans out there. It is now former Giants offensive lineman. Nick Gates is heading to a rival. He's heading to the Washington Commanders, so he's not getting outside of the NFC East quite yet, which is exciting. I always love any of those matchups, great rivalries. But a good story for Nick Gates, who battled back. He had 7 surgeries after he broke his left fibula and tibia, so basically his leg there in 2021. So it's great to see him back. I don't know. I kind of like long-term offensive linemen staying in one place, but he's probably getting the money there. So it'll be fun to see him still.
I mean, they brought somebody in to play over him after he got hurt, so he probably couldn't get the job back. He goes to Washington, maybe he can win that job. I mean, he was a captain when he got his legs snapped, so hopefully.
And then, I know the Giants fans mostly. I mean, he's if you remember at Nebraska, he's kind of too. He's somewhat vocal. I mean, kind of I mean, he'll not back down. If you hit his quarterback, you hit his running back late or something.
He'll get in your face.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Which is a great trait for an offensive lineman.
Yeah,
you want to be protective of your guys, your skilled guys who are making you look good.
But he is one of those guys that, and this happened with a lot of offensive linemen for the last 20 years. Where it's like, I don't know if Nebraska's getting the most out of him because then they go into the NFL and I mean, I just don't know how many people saw this out of Nick Gates. Not to say that he couldn't do it. He was very highly regarded when he was here. I just have to go back. I don't even know. I think Gates drafted.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it was.
No, that is So Nebraska will have offensive linemen who make it to the league, whether it's drafted or undrafted, and you see them playing at such a high level, and you just think back to when they were at Nebraska and how much Nebraska has struggled recently on the offensive line, or just in the past however many years, and it's so confusing to see these guys make it to the best level of their profession and perform at such a high level when they were at Nebraska, and it was kind of a struggle. It's almost as if these NFL teams see the potential in these players and are able to bring that out, where at Nebraska they weren't able to do that for whatever reason, whatever the coaching staff may be.
Well, and part of it too is just, if you've got an offensive, I mean, if you've got a player that's, where Nebraska is now. Back in the day, you slot them in position, but a lot of times now, if you're Nebraska, you're one of these schools that doesn't often have that caliber of offensive lineman. Then he's playing left tackle, and he might be playing out of position, but he's your best left tackle. He's your best, so you put him at the most important spot on the line. And so he's gone on to have success at center where he was playing tackle at Nebraska. So maybe that's why you kind of see that at times. But he was actually undrafted and declared to go early. I kind of forgot about. So he could have stayed around another year at Nebraska, but didn't. I'll always remember
that would have been nice.
That game. I believe that was him against Tennessee, where he was great. I mean, you felt like all year long, and then just could not cover Derek Barnett at the Eagle. Was he with the Eagles now?
Who?
Barnett, the
I believe
Tennessee.
Edge rusher.
That
was not a good time.
Not only ate Nick Gates' lunch, but ate everybody's. They tried all these different tackles. I just didn't feel like he got back to form there.
Yeah, unfortunately. So, sorry, just kind of going away from that. The women's NIT, the bracket has been announced. Nebraska, as you know, is in the women's NIT. And they are in the Group 3 area of the NIT as a 1 seed, it looks like. And they will be hosting a game against Missouri State in 2 days,
There you
actually. They will be hosting Missouri State here in Lincoln. Their portion of the bracket has teams Missouri, Kansas, a top 25 team for most of the season. Nebraska did beat them here in Lincoln. Arkansas, Texas Tech, SMU, teams of that nature in their bracket. Some other, see if there's any other Big Ten teams in here, just so I can get this and let everybody know. Oh my goodness, where are they? Are there no other ones? Doesn't look like it, actually. They might be the only Big Ten team here in the women's NIT. Kansas State also, Washington, Wichita State, Wyoming, Oregon, North Dakota State, some other teams in the women's NIT. But if you want to catch the Nebraska women in action in postseason play, they will be hosting Missouri State on the 15th at 7 p.m. at PBA, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So 6 p.m. I can never get that right. 6 p.m. at PBA, Missouri State Bears, Wednesday.
Okay.
There you go. The Women's NIT announces their bracket. You can go to womensnit.com and you can see the entire bracket for yourself. But that's nice. You get to host a game.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were going to host. Obviously, what do you kind of feel about the season overall? I mean, obviously they had their own injury battles to face. Is pretty successful season, getting a 1 seed in the WNIT. Obviously, coming off an NCAA tournament bid, maybe a little bit more was hoped for, but
it's.
I mean, they competed well with a lot of teams.
Yeah,
and just and lost close margins.
They're
beat
they are 1 win away. It's just 1 win, really, and they're 1 loss. If they don't lose to Minnesota, they're in the NCAA tournament. If everything else goes the same way, but they don't lose to Minnesota up in Minneapolis, not even postseason, not even the Big Ten tournament. It was just a regular season game. If they don't lose that game, they are in the NCAA tournament. So it's not a disappointing season, but it isn't what the women's team was expecting this season, coming off of an NCAA tournament berth and unfortunately losing in the first round last year to Gonzaga. But with what they dealt with this year, the actually massive loss earlier in the season of Allison Widener, not the greatest season, but I wouldn't call it a disappointment. Just not exactly what they were hoping for.
Yeah,
not a disappointment.
Obviously, we'll see it too. If you can, if they can make quite a run in the WNIT, that can kind of change your.
Oh, that's yeah. The NIT changes things for people, whether it be the women's NIT or the men's NIT. If you go on a run, it changes things. And unless you're North Carolina, nobody cares. And the championship for the NIT, if Nebraska is to make it that far, well, okay. First off, the Fab Four, which is what they call it in the NIT, March 28th and 29th. The championship is April 1st at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time on CBS.
Okay, we got some time.
If the women are to make it,
let's plan on it.
Let's plan April 1st, CBS, 5:30 Eastern time. Everybody be glued to your TVs. Nebraska will be playing somebody. Let's see. Let's say they'll be playing. I'm looking on the other side of the bracket.
So is it called the Lincoln Regional?
It's group 3, and they play in Lincoln.
Okay.
Because the other team, so they will face the winner of Northern Iowa and Colorado State.
And where do those teams play?
Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Okay.
So I don't know if Nebraska would also host.
Yeah.
I don't know how that. Yeah, I don't know how that goes. Who gets to host what? But first round, second round, Super 16, Great 8, Fab 4. That's what we're going with in the women's NIT. But that's going to do it for this segment. Again, actually, no, we can keep going a little bit. So Nebraska is going to be hosting Missouri State in that. I think I got another update on some more free agency in Adam Schefter. The Chiefs signing Jawan Taylor, former Jaguars offensive tackle, after they lose their offensive tackle to wherever he decided to go off to. So losing an offensive lineman to wherever, and then gaining an offensive lineman, but they're paying him a boatload of money. He's getting paid from a 4-year, $80 million deal, $60 million guaranteed. These deals are getting a little large. Granted, the NFL is bringing in more money, but
the salary cap's getting bigger too. I mean, I think
It's getting wild, man.
It is. It's crazy to look at these numbers as opposed to where they were, 20 years ago. I thought it was kind of interesting. I can't remember who it was, but somebody who played in the NFL for a few years, was like a third round pick, something like that.
Mhm.
Might have been Troy Dumas. But when just kind of talking to him on the captain kind of thing, yeah, that's awesome. He played in the and he's just like, yeah, back then that didn't make you rich. Like, whoa,
You're just like,
he's
yeah,
right,
you're
yeah.
fine.
I guess it didn't. But nowadays, I mean, if you get picked in the draft, NFL draft, I'm pretty sure 6th, 7th rounder guys are getting like million guaranteed.
I would take a 7th round pick.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not guaranteed to make the team, but yeah, you're getting a decent chunk of change.
Yeah.
So it was Andrew Wiley, the former Chiefs right tackle, who is actually going to Washington, who apparently is
Yeah, there you go.
solidifying their offensive
Yeah.
line. Andrew Wiley joining Nick Gates up in Washington, trying to maybe bring the Hogs back to Washington,
Mm,
even though they're the Commanders now. I don't know.
Commanders.
Their
Commanders.
dumb nickname. I don't know. I don't know. DP didn't really like it. I'm not a Washington fan, so I can't really speak on it.
It
but
definitely has to grow on you. It's still not there. For me.
honestly, probably should have stuck with football team.
Yeah,
Are we
which
gonna
I
be
thought
like-
was dumb from the beginning, but then it started. That one caught on. Kind of liked it.
I liked football team. WFT. They had a nice logo going on, and then they were like, "Hey, let's go with Commanders because that makes a lot of sense." If they were able to, they should have gone with Red Tails. That would have been cool. That would have been really cool.
See, I don't know if that also sounds kind of arena football league.
No, it makes sense. Just don't think about it.
Yeah,
Just don't think about it too hard, and you'll be good.
I don't think too hard about it. Mostly anything, so I could do that.
What are your thoughts? I know we're just bouncing around right now, but what are your thoughts on the Olympic or whatever challenge that the Husker football team has been doing this winter conditioning?
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's good, team bonding, and it's kind of forcing guys to step up in leadership roles, and you're kind of learning about the team. So I think especially for a year one winter conditioning, this is still a lot of get to know the guys. I'm sure Matt Rule and his staff, and they've said as much. Some guys come in and want a blank slate, so they won't look at any of the games. I think that's kind of silly. Like, dude, do some homework and know what see what you have.
Mhm.
But I get it. They don't want to get preconceived notions for their fall, camp battles or spring camp battles. But they've said that they've kind of looked at it. But it's different when you're live out there and working with the guys, and quite honestly, again, and I can't say this enough, and I know it's not something that probably Nebraska once highlighted, but there's guys fighting for their jobs out there. So I mean, any part of this is going to be very interesting for if I'm a kind of a fringe guy, on the scholarship chart. Showing out at these winter conditioning things might not mean everything, but if you can, and it's been a lot
Just get
of
yourself noticed,
Yeah.
right? Just plant the seed in the coach's head, like, hey, I'm one of the harder workers. We're out here playing soccer, and I'm giving it my all. I might not be good at it, but you noticed when I was out there. Like, it's interesting to see them do all these different sports and these different activities that aren't football related. Although some people would prefer that they focus on football. I mean, you've been so bad at football for so long that you need to focus on the football aspect of things. But they're going to get a lot of that in during the spring, the summer,
They
the
literally
fall.
can't going up against NCAA violations. You over football things.
Like
so-
they will focus on football over the next however many months.
Yeah.
But right now, this is to build team camaraderie, and I really like it, and I think it's really interesting that they've decided to branch out and work with other sports and kind of bring them in to help them take part in some of these events and again build the camaraderie on the team and offensive linemen with wide receivers and quarterbacks with defensive backs, and everybody's just mixed up. It's not this position group with this position group. You need to learn everybody in your room and nobody else. They're branching out and they're getting to know everybody on the team, and I think that's really cool, and that's going to help going on later on in the season. You're going to have a lot more trust, not only for the guy to your left and your right, but for the guy on the other side of the ball who you're going to have again, full trust in when if you're on the offensive end and you need that ball back from the defensive side of things, you'll have full trust in those guys. Not that they didn't before, but it is just a different level.
But I think too, just the different leaders that emerge out of it, I think is the most interesting part, because when they did the press conference, they had a few guys go up there, Chief Borders and Thomas Fedone, and not anything against those guys, but that sounds to me like you're picking names out of a hat. I wouldn't have guessed those guys immediately. So you really do. You're kind of learning who your leaders are.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. That's going to do it for this segment. Up next, the crossover. Eric Strickland will come in before On the Block, and we'll talk a little about everything going on. Maybe I'll ask him a little bit about the New York Knicks and how they're totally back.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. The happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One of the Nebraska Lottery's most explosively fun promotions is back. Cash Blast. Until April 8th, buy a 2x2 ticket. And voucher you win $5,000 or $500. If your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket or a multiple of 7 ticket, your prize is doubled. There are 14 total winners. So play today. You'll have a blast. But that goes without saying. 2x2 top prize odds 1 in 105,000. Have you played Powerball? Nebraska Lottery is easy, fun, and you could win a fortune. Visit your nearest Nebraska Lottery. Pick 5 numbers between 1 and 69 and a Powerball number between 1 and 26. Or just ask the clerk for a quick pick. With the starting jackpot in the millions and drawings Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, you'll soon remember why Powerball is Nebraska's favorite lotto game. Powerball top price odds 1 in 292 million.
March is a month of luck, from epic runs in state basketball to watching Cinderella spring the upset in college basketball. And of course, St. Patrick's Day. Luck is on your side at Mullen Motors too, because their lot is full of great vehicles to take home. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride as summer road trips are just around the corner. Your luck starts at Mullen Motors.
Go Tagline. Quality vehicle. Mullen Motors.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans of all ages and walks of life. If you're a loved one that's struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employee that formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com. March is full of high school basketball action, the NCAA tournament, baseball season starting up, all great things that also cause a lot of stress. Instead of letting your nerves get the best of you and cause tightness, get ahead of all of it with a massage from The Body Shop. The Body Shop in Lincoln is your place for all types of massages: deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Book your appointment today at bodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather, sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Mostly sunny skies, but still rather chilly for our Monday. An afternoon high of 37, a light north wind at around 10. Mainly clear tonight, the low dropping down to around 20. Nice warm up tomorrow with a high of 54, but a bit breezy. South winds could gust over 20. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Mike Shaver here to tell you that Trek CBD has a new name, and it's Hemp Boss. It's the same product you've known to just a new name. Spring sports are on the horizon, and Hemp Boss has a variety of products that help calm me down during games and on the golf course so I don't go over the top. And they have a variety of options for you to calm you down before, during, and after any event. Whether you're looking for drinkable Delta 8 seltzers, hemp-derived for your beverages, or it all at 84 for the internet. Hemp Boss, naturally healthy CBD.
Hey, it's Chad, the Nutrition Authority, talking about Cleansing Lean. Cleansing Lean helps eliminate that dreaded bloat and water retention that many of us deal with on a day-to-day basis. Cleansing Lean is a great way to jumpstart any weight loss program. Cleansing Lean is only available at the Nutrition Authority. Stop it, or for store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
The Empire brand is growing with ESC fabrication and sandblasting. ESC is your place for custom handrails, industrial and commercial painting, and more. ESC provides custom welding for aluminum and stainless steel and media blasting of all sorts. ESC has great attention to detail. They stick to deadlines and keep within your budget. If you can dream it, they can make it. Contact ESC Fabrication and Sandblasting in Waverly today at 531-207-9329.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nebraska, they were 2-18 at Carver Hawkeye.
They don't play well at Carver Hawkeye.
And lost 9 in a row. Fred's previous 3 games at Carver Hawkeye, they had lost by an average of 28.4 points.
That would lead you to. That would lead you to
win the game, probably.
Right. But we did say here, but all three of us said it. But it's like, no, we're not going. We're not playing Kansas.
No. Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM. First 93 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I don't believe you people.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people?
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into the crossover here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Like I said, you guys can get in contact with the show, 402-464-5685. Happy Hour sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting. You can also get in contact with us over Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream. We are joined by Eric Strickland. Stricky, how you doing?
I'm doing absolutely great. I understand. I'm looking across at the Boxster. Instead of next looking for Tricky Nicky. Nicky did a wonderful job. Him and Carter and the crew, everybody that showed up down the list. I can understand he needs some time off. He really was going down there and did a wonderful job in representing 93.7 The Ticket for the high school tournament, both the men's and the women. So listen, I can understand why I'm sitting with you guys today. Yeah, as opposed to Tricky Nicky being here.
So sorry, I just saw a thing that I'm trying to make sure it's real.
Is it official?
I don't know.
Finally,
Aaron Rodgers being traded to the Jets per Ray Wingo.
No, he usually don't miss. He's not one of the ones.
Hearing Rodgers to the Jets is done. History about to repeat itself between New York and Green Bay. Time is indeed a flat circle, he said.
Well, I mean, I think ultimately, Rico, that was going to be an inevitable thing. Here's why: because I mean, the CEO of the Green Bay Packers just recently came out basically saying, "I think he needs to go."
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you get to that point, I think I think Aaron sometimes can be petty wop, not fetty wop. And so I think he can, I think sometimes he'll do some things just to kind of spite you a little bit. Plus, they tried to, do this a long time ago by, getting some first-round quarterback drafts in their past. So
Jordan Love, he's going to be the start, maybe. I guess depending on what else happens around in free agency. Jordan Love, the starting quarterback for Green Bay, Week 1. At least preseason Week 1.
That's not, again, I've said it all along too. That's not a 1 year move. So they're not. You wonder what kind of Green Bay's thinking moving forward. Even Aaron Rodgers wasn't a winning. I think they were 6-10 his first year.
What are they getting in return for Aaron Rodgers? That's my question. It's a first-round pick, obviously, at least one. But what else are the Jets sending to Green Bay in order to get the services of one Aaron Rodgers? That's my question.
Yeah,
because once we get that news, it's going to be really interesting.
I want to shout out to Jimmy G, who is, been on the biggest roller coaster ride, probably emotionally, of probably any quarterback out there, to exclude Baker Mayfield. I've gotta say, I hope he does well in Raider country.
You think so?
I hope.
You hope he does? Do you think he does?
I hope he does, and I think he will. I think he'll look at it as an opportunity. I'm hoping he has a. It's tough though. Just the division he's in is tough right off top. You're looking at Herbert. You're looking at freaking the
AFC. The AFC is stacked. I don't know why he would want to go to an AFC team.
Well, I think go ahead, Bob.
Well, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams,
he's got
Darren
weapons.
Waller,
Yeah.
They've got some guys there. My problem is, if I look from the outside, is I just don't think Jimmy G is better than Derek Carr. So I think it's kind of strange to move off of Derek Carr to Jimmy G. I thought that might have been made to go younger, maybe kind of reset the timeline.
Or were they in a place to get there? They had weapons. So you're either going to transfer weapons that you have in stock. I think the way that they're looking at it, right? Just let me. I hear what you're saying. Just let me throw this back at you. What he was able to do with the weapons he had at Green Bay by just being a solid quarterback, they could be envisioning maybe that aspect of it, right? Like, we don't need you to do anything special. We don't need you to be super great. We just need you to be solid.
Yeah.
And with the weapons that they feel that they have, you're not going to get him at an over expensive price. So now you can still go on your defensive side and spend some cash and get some guys, because obviously they missed on their draft picks on the defensive side, and you're still missing on the Henry Ruggs situation. So you've been missing. So now you just got to find a way to just be solid. And I agree with you. I think Derek Carr, I don't know. I don't know what happened with the Derek Carr situation, but I can look at it from that standpoint. Let's just get somebody solid. How can we get younger? We get younger only by giving up resources. So we get probably a couple of those guys and some other stuff to get up there to get really who they would want to get.
Now, I didn't think about this until right now, but Jimmy G going to Las Vegas means he's reuniting with his offensive coordinator when he was in New England in Josh McDaniels. So that's going to be one less, tricky situation that McDaniels and Garoppolo are going to have to go through, because they understand each other's terminology already. Or, maybe it's going to take a little bit just to get reintegrated to it because he's been away for so long. But that's going to be another, little relationship right there that they can build upon. And if McDaniels can prove that he's any type of head coach material, you've already seen that Jimmy G is able to be the quarterback of a Super Bowl contender, not a Super Bowl winner, but a Super Bowl contender with San Francisco. So you've got, I don't know about the same amount, but you've got some pretty solid weapons that are comparable to what you had in San Francisco. If you want to compare your tight end, your running back, and one of your wide receivers, like in terms of weaponry, you're pretty close to what you had in San Francisco. Although I would say that Devontae Adams is an upgrade from who is it?
Debo.
Debo. I would say he's an upgrade from Debo.
What, Kittle,
Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah. I also want to ask you this. I know this is a jump in sports, but there's a lot going on right now. Did you ever play or get to know Damon Stoudemire at all? He's taking over
young Damon Stoudemire, left-handed.
Yeah, he's taking over at Georgia Tech, as I think tonight will be his last game with the Celtics, where he's been an assistant coach and
I like
expected to be at Georgia Tech.
Yeah. So here's the way that I would speak about Damon. There's two players that I just hated guarding in this because they didn't have any patterns to their game. And that was Nick Van Exel and Damon Stoudemire. I don't know if it's because they're both lefties, but whatever the case may be, they were two of the toughest people for me, I felt, to guard, because you just didn't know where the heck they were going with the stuff that they did. They used to call him Mighty Mouse, and he was a bundle of, not joy, he was a bundle of difficulty to handle, because he was just quick, tiny, shifty, no pattern, and he could stroke it. And he can give you all the work that he wanted. He was very creative at the basket. Now, I'd like to see how he does as a coach. I hadn't got a chance to see that yet. But hey, great place for him to land. Georgia Tech down program as of late. Probably looking for a good spark. I'm hoping he can get it turned around. Hate my boy came up short, though, a couple days ago. They got themselves to the semifinals and ended up losing to Texas A&M. Jerry Stackhouse, I think he's a tremendous coach in what he's been able to build. So it's good to see some, the guys that have kind of come through the system. Going back to college ranks and getting it done. I mean, they get, most of them got their start in the NBA ranks. He was up in Toronto coaching for the Toronto Raptors organization. I can't remember the name, 917 or something. Their Raptors team. And he ended up going over to Vanderbilt and doing a tremendous job. So I'm happy to see some of those guys.
G League to college seems pretty successful.
Was Stoudemire your draft class of the year before?
He might have been the year after.
So I was looking at it. Looks like
he wasn't in ours.
96 Rookie of the Year. That would have been the 95 draft, I believe.
So then, he was here before me then.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see what he does at Georgia Tech too.
Was it
he was drafted in 95 because 95-96 was his first year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And he played at Arizona. I don't know what his tie is to Georgia Tech. Similar maybe to like Stackhouse Vanderbilt, but no tie. Just hey, that's a good bet for him.
Former NBA player doing a really good job coaching the coaching ranks so far. Let's give him a chance. See what happens. Can't get worse.
No.
Well, maybe. Patrick Ewing at Georgetown.
I mean, good God.
Unfortunately.
I feel bad for the biggie.
I hope he falls somewhere as an assistant or something and get whatever, because they were pretty good his first year, and then crap just hit the ceiling fan and just nothing went right for him.
Well, you gotta wonder though, too, like
he didn't win a single conference game last year.
No,
he won 2 this
year. You wonder though if it is, is he? You wonder how much he was coaching, because that might have been like the goal, right? The goal was to get to Georgetown to be their coach. And I know he spent years in the NBA, so maybe his ultimate goal is to be an NBA head coach, but that seems like a long shot at this point. So I don't know if he's gonna. I would wonder if he wants to land somewhere, or just kind of say, "That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be Georgetown's head coach. It didn't work out, but I did it. Maybe I could move on to retire."
So here's the thing. I think, and this is only speculation. I don't know. This is just speculation. I know Patrick Ewing's demeanor is very monotone, ease, low key, chill. That's good in a lot of ways, right? But when you're talking about dealing with young men, you got to have some energy, some identification, some, the ability to, identify with them, get in with them, for them to feel you, to understand you, chop it up with them. Kind of got to be a little bit different. You still got to be coach, but his demeanor may not necessarily be good for that, right? Because in order to land the kids, there's a lot of different coddling, a lot of different, rapport you've got to establish with guys, and he's just kind of, how you doing? He's kind of shackish without the shack type. You know what I mean? So I think that's hard, and especially then you've got enrollment issues, unfortunately, that hasn't really changed at Georgetown, that you still have to deal with. It's not easy to get entrance into Georgetown still. And so some of the ways that you probably was able to do it before, now you're dealing with NIL. Yes, Georgetown does have some paper. That's one thing they do, but still those dynamics that unfortunately kind of keep some of those kids out.
So, jumping sports, Ian Rappaport reporting on the NFL Network that's saying nothing has happened as of now between Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. So, contrary to reports a couple minutes ago,
that could be some just behind the scenes.
Aaron Rodgers not going anywhere just yet. Gotta love it. Gotta love this time of the season, right?
That's right.
Everything's happening and also nothing is happening.
Right.
It's a fun time in the NFL right now. You want to hit that out music? We got about a minute left. What are we getting into?
I think we're going to talk a little bit about the Kendrick Perkins MVP debates, and really dig into the Joker a little bit, get some understanding of that. We'll have a couple of guests. I think we're going to definitely have Munson still waiting here back on Cluster. Talk a little bit about W. West and
Doug Woodard.
Shout out to him and his history and retirement.
We'll talk about the Knicks being back. They're definitely back now. 230 burgers. 230 burgers and a win against the Lakers without Jalen Brunson. Love it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're gonna win in the first round, and I'm gonna be ecstatic. Nobody can tell me anything once that happens. But that's gonna do it for this water cooler and the happy hour. Me and Bach will be at it again tomorrow. Thank you all for listening on the block with me and Stricky up next on 93.7 The Ticket.